वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव शुभकार्येषु सर्वदा।
Good evening all. I request you all to either switch off or silence your mobile phone please. Now I request you all to stand up for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Gujarat growth under Indian Infuse. I request our past president Shri Anand Bhai Tatu for his welcome speech. Anand Bhai.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you all to the inaugural session of the Masterclass Lecture Series. This is the first in the series 24-25 under the theme of Vision to Impact. This event is a collaborative initiative of the Gujarat Institute of Civil Engineers and Architects, the Ahmedabad Management Association, also the Gujarat Chambers of Commerce and Industry. This is a very unique kind of an initiative, and the idea has been given by our today's speaker, Shri Patel. And these very premium institutes of the city are coming together for this. This shows that we are so much concerned about the urban development in Gujarat. Together we aim to foster knowledge sharing and inspire innovation in urban development and planning. We are deeply grateful to our distinguished speaker for today's session, Shri Narendra K. Patel, our own NK, the National President of the Institute of Town Planners, India. It's a very proud thing for all of us that he is sitting at that helm of affairs of the Town Planners Institute of India. And chairman of Sun Builders. He has his own real estate organization. His vast expertise in civil engineering, urban planning, and real estate development will guide us through the topic. Today's topic is Gujarat's growth under the Indian Infuse. Shri Patel's significant contributions to the urban planning and his insights into Gujarat's development promise to make this session enriching for all of us. I would also like to extend our warm welcome to our guest of honor, Dr. Saman Godiawala, who's the president of Ahmedabad Management Association. Dr. Godiawala's illustrious career as a chartered accountant, angel investor, and a startup mentor, brings us a unique perspective to our discussion today. I also extend a warm to some of the GCCI office bearers who would be joining us soon. At present, I think they are on the way. Friends, we are also thankful to PC Snehal Group, Neha Consultant, Ambuja Cement, and Sun Builders for their generous support as partner organizations. Their commitment to advancing education and professional development in the built environment sector is invaluable for the success of this lecture series. Today's program reflects the shared vision of GICA and its partners to bring together academicians, students, researchers, and the built environment professionals to discuss key themes such as urban renewal, smart townships, and the future of post-independence new towns. These are the three next lectures in the series, the masterclass series. Before we begin, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to my colleagues at GICA, particularly the Continuing Education and Capacity Building Committee and the entire organizing team for their tireless efforts to put this program together. This session is the first of many, and we hope it sets the tone for insightful discussions and meaningful collaborations in the future. Let us now proceed for the program. I once again welcome all of you and thank you very much.
Good evening. I welcome all, and I request Vikas Secretary to felicitate our speaker and our mentor G. N.K. Patel sir.
Now I invite our Joint Secretary Shri Rakesh Parekh for felicitation of Dr. Sawan Godiawala. Thank you, Rakesh bhai. I again request Dr. Sawan Godiawala, today's our guest of honor, for his speech.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Second time that I am speaking at the platform of Gujarat Institute of Civil Engineers, and I feel very good because I see every time I have an opportunity to be part of it, we are talking about knowledge. And knowledge is something which at Ahmedabad Management Association also we try to see that how much more we can disseminate. Shri N.K. Patel, our friend, philosopher, a huge contributor to this city from the urban development. Anand bhai, Saurin bhai, Vikas bhai, Nitesh bhai, ladies and gentlemen. So certainly, as I said, it's a pleasure to be part of the story where we talk about Gujarat's growth under India Infuse. And Gujarat certainly has been a beacon for the prosperity, for the progress, for the development and all we have done. But I remember of one book, NK, that you written maybe way back in COVID or so, 2019-20? 1920. And I, first time ever that I'm a chartered accountant, by the way. The background is all finance and numbers. Do not understand any pencil and paper and drawing on that with pencil and paper for the architectural part. Far away. But that book gave me a lot of perspective. And you captured a lot of part of how in Prahlad Nagar developed or SP Ring Road developed, and then there was of course an analogy with the Japan and South Korea development, if I recollect that, and then of course some remote part of the country also. And that is where you try to understand that what is this development? Is this development some good roads and some good cars on that good roads? Or is this development something coming in a fashion which will sustain for a very long time with a purpose, with a reason, with the thinking, with a strategy, that it is coming up for a long term and it's not going to create a chaos, it is only probably wanting to reduce the chaos. So urban planning, of course, a big subject, is something that I could make out only after I referred to the book and found that yes, this is not just putting some paper and then creating roads and schools and institutions that are required for public purpose. Gujarat certainly has contributed huge, as I could see, and at our age probably most of us have seen Gujarat before 30, 40, 50 years, and we would probably recollect the circus in the Sabarmati area, and now that's a riverfront. And we would say lot of people would have thought that this was the area where the Ganesh idols were immersed, their circus was coming, and it was a place where, and then comes the development which happens, the riverfront. And I think that riverfront roads has become a lifeline, both sides of the city, of the bank of the river, that lot of people are taking for so many of their trips, whether it is airport or in the city, outside the city, and that is decongested the city also. Same thing, of course, the ring roads are doing, they're decongesting. So there's a huge vision, huge planning which is happening, that we can see that is happening. Of course, government certainly gets a lot of credit because huge allocation. These are all budgetary allocation. At India government, the last union budget 2024-25 had 11,11,111 crores for infrastructure development, which is a huge, which was 4 lakh crores only some 7, 8, 9 years back. So 4 lakh becoming 11 lakh crores, and which is what we are seeing, and which has an impact across the board for business, for industry. For example, if there are good roads, good connectivity, that connectivity reduces a truck going from Chennai to say Mumbai or Mumbai to Delhi by one day, that 24 hours, that's a dead working capital lying in the truck. That is what is reduced by this planning which is happening. And the same thing happens in the cities also. When you decongest the city, you are probably making it more environment friendly by reducing the pollution that you could be doing. So certainly Gujarat, I would say Gujarat by itself, when we talk about Gujarat as a growth, we know Gujarat's per capita income is much higher than India. India is at $2,500 per capita as a GDP, versus Gujarat close to $4,000. So it has been a riverfront in the front runner in terms of what the prosperity is also, and all the reasons that Gujarat has to lead or become a model for this urban planning, whether we call it, or development, and show way to 1,600 kilometers of the coastal line. And so much of development, 30% of the Indian exports through shipping is happening through Gujarat. And so many airports which have now come up, so many airports which are even mini airports which take intra-state flights also, which are, and not to forget the big bullet train. Now, bullet train is not about a bullet train. I think it is about urban planning. When that bullet train comes and lands into or comes to a Sabarmati, there would be huge amount of planning that would be happening, which goes into development of the state and then naturally development of the country. If we are talking about Olympics coming in, I can only imagine that what scale of planning would it require. And even a small development like Gandhi Ashram today developing into some 200 acres of place. This impacts every citizen. We are passing by the place, or we are bringing our guests to the space, or we are going to be using the place, and it is an impact on all of us. It's a huge subject, and thanks to NK and this team and many more people that there's huge contribution happening, on lot of minds, brains working on this, which is happening, and that's what is showing us that Gujarat is leading, as well as Gujarat is in the forefront so far as the development, innovation. I would surely think a bullet train is not about laying some tracks. It would be lot of innovation, lot of technology that it would need for every track that is laid, every pillar that is made across the regions, countryside, as well as within going into the city. So I'm happy that I'm here. Gujarat certainly is doing great. India by itself has huge allocation, and the model is going places. Gujarat, if we see this time, Gujarat is the third largest state by GDP, GSDP, the gross state domestic product, even more than UP. UP, there is a 1 trillion economy plan that they have. Gujarat is also on a 1 trillion economy plan. India as a whole is under 4 trillion, but Gujarat's vision is to become a 1 trillion economy sooner. And that is a huge contribution, I would say, to this country also, which Gujarat is where we are, the progressive way of Gujarat communities, Gujarat businesses, Gujarat people happening. One thing, NK, if you can highlight on, that where the development is happening, but unfortunately I see the discipline or the culture is not moving in that. I could see, we all see still some people wrong side, they would take it as their rightful wrong side driving as much, in spite of so many cameras around the city. Some people feel that, spitting on the good places even created is fine, it is supposed to. So how do we manage that? Whether there could be an education now relating to the urban development that is, and can we take that up in a big way at platforms like, say, us? We would be very happy to do anything for, as Ahmedabad Management Association, which goes to citizens at large. We actually did a drive for rickshaws. The rickshawalas were considered to be notorious drivers on the city, and way back some years we said that let us try to see if some rickshawalas can also come here, take some less, understand that how they are behaving or misbehaving. Such things we would be happy to also do as Ahmedabad Management Association. Once again, compliments to Gujarat Institute of Civil Engineers and Architects for this. This is a series of 4 master classes, right, to launch this series. And this is certainly going to be a knowledge worthwhile for us to have, as well as take further, and we can invite more friends to take, who are interested in knowing in all the master classes. And thanks to the team again. Thanks for inviting me also. Happy to be part of the session, and very keen to know from the speaker on the subject matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Savanbhai, for your nice words and informative words. Now I invite for introduction of topic and speaker our convener Surut Tatu.
Good evening, everyone. Today's master class will be on Gujarat's growth under Indian Infuse. This lecture will highlight the important elements that affect total urban development and the human living index, such as Gujarat's population, economy, and industries, using Gujarat as a case study and examining the effects of the aforementioned critical factors on the nation as a whole. Additionally, it will also discuss Gujarat's urban extension and new developments in the past 20 years and making predictions for the future. Now, talking about our esteemed speaker, Shri NK Patel is a registered civil engineer and urban planner. He spent initial years of his career at Ahmedabad Urban Development Authority. He transitioned to become a real estate developer after working for 2 decades in the public sector as a town planner. Additionally, he serves as a visiting faculty at CEPT, Nirma, and Anant National University. He loves to travel and has a keen interest in history, culture, and architecture of other locales. He previously published such editions as a part of City Walk series and documented the architecture of San Francisco and Northeast India. He is also the author of Sourcing Land for Urban Development, Town Planning Scheme, and Steel Mills to Metropolis, 3 publications on urban planning. Now we welcome our speaker, Shri NK sir, for his speech. Thank you.
Good evening. My clubmate and dear friend Shravan, my architect Anand, Nitesh, my family friend, Secretary Vikas Shah, and Joint Secretary Shauri, and all the GICA met who has come here to hear me. Basically, I'm a civil engineer, then I did law, and then I did my master's in urban planning. I'm not an economist. But if we talk about town planning or urban planning, it is a multidisciplinary subject. That discipline is a multidisciplinary, where the technology and technical part of civil engineering, the history of planning and other things from architecture, economy, rural and urban economy, talking about the urban poor, talking about the economic cycle of each strata of the society, geography, of course, and sociology. So being a planner, we were always touching the economical portion. How this happened, the Gujarat growth under India Infuse. Actually, some 2-3 months back, some friend invited me to deliver a lecture at Rotary. I asked them for a subject, but they said, no, you can speak on any subject. So I decided that my audience is a Rotarian, and they are from all walks of life. Few may be a doctor, businessman, some lawyer or small PT, traders also. So in that case, I decided to give them a lecture which is all of them can be interested and they will have some takeaway after the lecture. So I found that under the ownership of our Honorable Prime Minister, in last 10-12 years and before that, there is a growth story. And we are each day hearing about the GDP comparison with China, or our report of ADB Bank, or number of the landmark project. So in that case, I decided, and I'm a passionate researcher, urbanist. So I do the research for 300-400 hours, and this is the outcome. And at that time, I'm attached with the Gujarat Institute of Civil Engineers and Architects since 1997. Otherwise, I could have such lecture with Naredco, where I am chairman Gujarat, or Indian Institute of Town Planners, where I am a national president. But I found that this is my institute. I love with my inner soul. So let's do it. And at that time, I'm from first day since 97, I was much interested in knowledge upgradation, skilling, and continuous education. So in that case, GIC should have a permanent feature like master class. So this time I am there. next year we can have at least on any other subject, the people can come and took the master class in that 2-month period. And the topic may be varied, topic may be total technology or infrastructure, topic may be urban planning, topic may be civic sense, which Savan was telling just now, or any other related to built environment. So this is a small brief. So in this series, the second is redevelopment. Is a second subject, and in redevelopment particularly, there are lots of things. Not only the old colony or apartment we are demolishing and putting up new, but it is a urban renewal, urban regeneration process. If you heard in the Mumbai, during each monsoon in Bhindi Bazaar or in some old lower Patel, some flats and chawls are collapses, right? All that has been constructed in 1910, 1920. So after passing a 60 to 70 year of lifespan and having Rent Control Act and number of other issues, they are in dilapidated condition. And now safety of a citizen is a prime public domain work. And in that case, there is a special board in Mumbai where more than 200 crore per annum the BMC is allocating. They prepared the detailed report, they visit and such dilapidated houses by putting the iron girder and structural support. They see that it should not collapse. So this is a big issue with Mumbai. Similarly, to clear the hutment, slum redevelopment is another thing. Third thing, as I think a few of us may be aware about the local area plan, the brownfield development where the development plan or a town planning scheme in a case of Ahmedabad has been already executed since 20, 30, 40 years ago. But now the societal requirement is changing. The density of household is changing. And in this era of carbon zero, you will not find much greens during that time. Now we are very sensitive towards the senior citizen and kids' safety when they want to go to school or when they want to go to the public park. What is their safety? So all such issues are under the redevelopment. You are redeveloping the city structures, you are conserving the heritage, you are giving some incentive doing the redevelopment. That is the second topic. Third is about when we talk about digitization, technological advancement, when our IT and ITES industry are on the globe, we are the leader as an Indian. So smart township is smart technology. And the fourth one is about post-colonial new cities. After we got the independence, the Bhubaneswar, which has been designed by one German planner, Koenzenberg, then Lee Corbusier designed the Chandigarh, then our great H.K. Mewada designed on a social theme, the Gandhinagar, then Naya Raipur, right now the Ambaravati is going, plus other glaring example of Navi Mumbai designed by Charles Correa, and again the Salt Lake City near Calcutta is also, basically it is a satellite town, but it is, even though a new whole city having a population more than 2 million. So that's all, and now I will start my presentation. Changing slide? No, નથી જ કરીશ. So, under Indian Infuse, the title, Gujarat, we are the federal, we are the different state. There are central subject as per the constitution, state subject. So if we have to grow, any state has to grow, there should be a proper environment by the central government, by Reserve Bank of India, by import-export policy, by number of other things. So under the positive infuse, how Gujarat has, what was the growth and how it is going. So before that, when it is an Indian infuse, we will start, I have two compartments of my presentation. One is India. So we will have an orientation of Indian growth. Then we will go to Gujarat. So this is the content where India, where urbanization, urban versus rural, middle income group, urban housing, MIG housing. Then I'm talking about various industries, steel, cement, automobile, gems, then import-export, SEZ policy, and few facts of India. The second portion is the Gujarat, where economic snapshot of the Gujarat, what are our electricity productions, what are the contribution, Gujarat contribution to Indian economy, industrial infrastructure, zonal distribution of SEZ, port, SEZ like Dahej, chemical, gems, salt, semiconductor industry we will talking. And finally, few unique growth landmarks like Dholera, Vibrant Gujarat, a summit which is a growth landmark, then DMIC corridor, high-speed rail, Alang shipbreak, and finally how the living condition in our Gujarat. Before that, I was thinking to add much thing, like I forgot, I'm not forgot. One is the impact of Narmada water on irrigation and potable water. So this is one of the important factor. Similarly, there are few other things like stock exchange. What is the role of Gujarat? If we talk about Vadodara or Rajkot has more stock account than Delhi. So this is the scenario. So there are another few things which I have not touched upon. So as we know, the urbanization. Just you see, in 1921, there was a 10% urban, and now it is a 36.38%. And by 2030, it is going to be 40%. And by 2050, 50% will be urban. So while we were studying, India is a agro-based country. It was, but day by day, half of the people are coming to the urban area. And if you think, what is a global urban population? So at present, 56% people on a globe stays in a urban area, while today we are about 36%. So this was the urbanization. Now, why this rapid urbanization occurred? What was the factor? I don't go in much theoretical things like migrations, pull and push factor, this, that. Let me talk about the pull and push factor which has been drawn by economy. So today we are 5th largest economy. By GDP, we are 136 as per the nominal GDP index. But what happened in 91? We must salute the sad demise of our ex-Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. He was a father of liberalization, father of stopping the red tapeism. And at that time, there was a Cold War between, I'm talking about 85-90, Cold War between Russia and America. And during that period, there was a crisis of balance of payment, and India doesn't have more than 3 weeks foreign fund. And at that time we heard that Chandrasekhar government will send from Reserve Bank our gold stock to UK to create a dollar or a pound. So at that time in 91, Manmohan Singh has a policy of liberalization. And due to that, from that day, the growth, the momentum, the quantum has been different. Before that, I don't say that there was no growth, but after that, the momentum, quantum, quality, you can see. And in next 3 years, we are going to be 5 trillion, and by 2030, we are going to be 7 trillion. So somebody may ask, okay, what will happen before 91, from 47 to 91? Looking to that era, India has adopted an economic model. It was a Russian model. And it is a protected economic practice where there is an inclusiveness, but the government will dominate. And that extensive Sovietization, there is a state intervention in each and everything. Either it is a railway or constructing a road or constructing a house or making a factory. And that is it was not free market. So it's a demand side economics we were doing. So from that, and at that time, there was no elected representative, so bureaucrat officers were driving all such economy model. And from there in 91, we had another era, which is a liberation era. So this is a growth since independent. What is a growth? Particularly you can see GDP, how much trillion we were there in 20, 21 and 22. So in 22, it's a 3.5 trillion economy. You just see the United States, which is 25 trillion. So we should not compare with United States, but Germany and Japan, we may cross, and as I have said earlier, we are going to become a third economy on the globe. And this is about the GDP data. So generally, if you take 6 to 7%, after 91, we are always achieving that growth. If we talk about 23, 24, it was a 8.2 growth rate. And similarly, GVA, the gross value addition, that is also at a 6.7 to 7.2 percentage. So by giving you first, this is an orientation. So what was the GDP, how GDP works, how it compares with the others. Now GDP is of sectoral GDP. So main 3 sectors, as I told you, in 1910 we are 10% urban. So agriculture and mining is having something 18.4%. Then services, which include the government services, medical services, IT, ITES, that is more than 50%. This is the normal figure which I have wrote. It may vary from 50 to 52, 53, 54, like that. And the industry means all the industries, around 30 plus. And on right-hand side, there is a subsector percentage, just to know. Be textile is doing 2%, automobile is around 7%. I have not written construction, but it is about 7 to 8%. Construction not mean the real estate. Construction mean all the infrastructure work, either done by the government, either done by the industrial houses or anything. Steel industry is 2%. So earlier, I'm talking about before 91, India was having 1900 public sector company. So if you talk about railway, it's a government, dairy government, fertilizer company government, all were the government, nuclear, mining, defense, ONGC, like that. So this was the situation. Very interesting, at present the agriculture is giving around 18% to our GDP, but still it employs 45 to 50% of total workforce. So it is a main employment till today. In manufacturing, it is about 15% is the GDP. Construction make 8%, mining, quarrying, gas, electricity, another 5%. But when you compare our agriculture GDP with a GDP of other advanced and modern or westernized country, they have their average sector's contribution is 3 to 3.5. Even though we have 6.4, so our contribution to GDP from agriculture is very good compared to the global things. But in case of industry and services, suppose if we talk about the services contribution to GDP, it is 63% on a globe average, while we are at 53. And this is the IMF, International Monetary Fund, the very trustable and legendary financial global institute. So India is experiencing phenomenal fast economic growth, and this momentum, and due to that it will be expected to grow by 6.3%. So this is a 2023 report of IMF. This is just a table where you can see the agriculture, what is the, at a constant price. Constant price I have mentioned on right hand side. That price of 2011 and 12 has been took, and then it has been analyzed. So this is service sector, trade, hotel. This is just a table. Now, so we talk about the urbanization, then we talk about the GDP, sectoral GDP. Now third is, we are always listening, there is a great distance is increasing between urban and rural, like between rich and poor. I will come at later stage. So if we just compare, this chart shows monthly consumption expenditure in rural area and what is a monthly consumption expenditure in urban area, right? For goods, services, clothing, food, like that. So the 99-2000, the first figure, where hardly a 400 rupees was a difference. The city people were spending towards consumer some 400 rupees. While if we go to 22-23, right, it is about 3,400 rupees. So what is a rural-urban difference and what is a rural-urban rift? Now about the rich and poor. So this slide shows the rich, then the middle class, then aspirers, okay, those who are lower middle or below that, but they are doing good and they want to upgrade themselves to become an achiever, and then destitutes, the lowest one, the urban poor, EWS people. You can see the reach was 37 in 2015-16. Now it has rose to 437. So within the period of something another 25 years, this figure is 2048-47. So day by day reach are increasing, but go below, at the bottom line, the destitutes, the urban poor. So they are also reducing. In 15, it was 209 and it is reduced to 25. Now, the middle class. When we talk about urban, we talk about the growth contributor. The middle class is a very important class, right? So what are the different type of middle class? Rural middle class, then public sector middle class, urban private sector middle class, trader middle class, rising middle class. Those who are not in middle class, they just entered is a rising middle class. Those who are in a government, bank, other formal institute, they are the public sector middle class. Private sector job, private sector, small petty shop, all comes under the private sector middle class. In rural also there is a middle class like that. So, fast growing category among the middle class is 7-fold increase. It was 0.4 to become a 2.7%. And as per the National Electoral Survey, NES, in 99, 2004, 9 and 2014, so around 33% of population in 2014. At present it is much higher, but as per the data of 2040, 33% are the middle class. So what is the general feeling, the lower tagline which I wrote? So middle class wants the government to spend more on infrastructure. They want more good road, they want good lighting, they want a good stormwater drainage, good public transport over subsidies. The subsidy, they basically interested to cut down the subsidy and raise the infrastructure. This is very interesting. At present, if you take, there is a minimum wage act by government. So as per the minimum wage act, if some laborer is getting that 200 and something rupees per day, right? Then after 941 years, he will be equivalent to the top paid executive of a leading company. So this is the difference. Just to push, what are the difference? There are 119 billionaires in the India. There were only 9 in 2000, 110 in 2017, and between 2018 and 22, another 70 new millionaires. Another millionaire added 19. And India is expected, this was about the billionaire, now millionaire, each day there will be a 70 millionaire in 2047, Viksit Bharat. So this is the situation. If we talk about our nation wealth, so 73% wealth is generated by only 1% richest people, while poorest half of the population, only 1% increase in their wealth. And for that, this ordinary lower class Indian is not access to proper education, health, shelter, all that thing. So these are the percentage. So at present, 6,20,000 is the annual income of a middle class. And right now, 1,380 million population in India in 2021, and middle class is a 42% of that total lot. So now you can think about the quantum of that middle class. And when in any developing country, when it goes towards the development or to become a developed country after 5, 10, 15 years, the rise of middle class, economic history will say, is must. And that happening with India. Now I'll go to little urban housing, right to shelter. As economy is average going 7.5 annually, and about 500 million people are coming as per one survey in a income bracket of middle class. So the backlog has been shown in a side column. So there is a urban population of 922 million. Backing unit is 18.78 million. 1,87,00,000 ઘરો આપણને જોઈએ છે. Unofficial estimate. This is the government census data of 2011. This data is but 2018 we need 2,90,00,000 એટલે 3 કરોડ ઘરની આપણે જરૂરિયાત છે. This is a very classic example. In most of my lecture, I put this slide. Okay, assume 50,000 rupees per month, 6 lakhs rupees an annual income. So generally, as per our planning standards, 7 to 8% may be for the accommodation or rent. But I have taken 20%. Okay, Indian owns their ghar nu ghar, and for that purpose, 20%. So out of 50,000, he can pay a home loan installment of 12,000. For getting 12,000, to pay 12,000 installment at a 8% home loan rate, he will get 15 lakh rupees as a home loan. I have assumed that 12 lakh rupees or 12.5 is his personal saving or social support from his brother, father, mother, like that. So maximum he can spend on a house, that is a 27 lakh 50,000. Right? But in tier 2 or tier 3 city, the minimum house, which is a 600 square feet, one 10 by 12 or 10 by 14 drawing room, one 10 by 10 or 10 by 11 bedroom, one bathroom, separate WC, 10 by 7 kitchen and one balcony. That costs about 34 lakh. So very interesting. So there is a gap of affordability. The land prices has been increased, the construction cost has been increased, and due to that, the cost of apartment has been increased. So that's why it is 34 lakhs. But if you analyze how this 34 lakhs is going, what is a builder's profit, what is a land component, what is a FSI, stamp duty, GST, other charges component, and construction component. So 5 lakh rupees. So in 34 lakh house, 5 lakh rupees, each flat, after all, when we pay, but it goes to at the end to the customer. So in that case, 5 lakhs rupees is a state, central, semi-government, payment FSI, all this come to 5 lakhs rupees. So if for such small houses, I'm not talking about a bigger house, only a 1-bedroom house having 600 square feet, super built-up area, the carpet may be 350 square feet. If they waive the government charges, then it is something better than PMAY. So they can match. In last budget, very interesting story. Since last 2 years, I am thankful to our Honorable Finance Minister. First time the urban planning word has been used in our budget from 47 to 2022. So he has confessed that the city is a growth hub, economic engine, and he also understands the growth in peri-urban area. Peri-urban area means a Silej or a Guma or a Godavi, like that. So, transit-oriented development plan, TOD, like we know on BRTS and metro route, we are instead of 2.7, we are getting 4 FSI. So such incentive has to be given to 14 such larger cities. And such incentive we have already started. Gujarat has started in 2013. while central government is putting that same our success example in 2025. Now, the initial portion of GDP, urbanization, middle class, rural urban, rich poor, urban housing shortage, non-affordability, and what are the last budget provisions. So we are moving forward to industries. So industrial development, first is the steel towns. I wrote one book that is, the title is Steel Mill to Megapolis. So it was a small village. If you talk about Rourkela, Durgapur, Bhilai, small village, 15, 10, 7,000 population. Today, they are million plus. So, as earlier I told you, due to the Soviet system, so government in second and third 5-year plan, all this plant has been established. And you can see the Bhilai is by Russian collaboration, Rourkela is a German collaboration, Durgapur British collaboration, Bokaro again Soviet collaboration. So now related to steel, the iron ore is the only raw material. So we are the 5th highest reserve of iron ore. Our total steel production will be more than 300 million ton by 2030. We had a low-cost manpower also, an abundant iron ore. So steel production may go 4 to 7%. And it is the yield and loss is also less compared to other industry. But it is one measure when you see one guy who is wearing kurta and one guy who is wearing suit. So by observing that, your observation may be little different. Okay? This is a suited, booted, well officer kind of people or some professional like CA or advocate. The kurta may be a social worker, maybe a small trader, like that. So USA consume per person 233 kg of steel, while India 160 kg. USA, most of the infrastructure has been done during their great recession in 1910-20. Even though the consumption, and you see the China, who is doing tremendous infrastructure, so their consumption of steel is 646 kg per person. These are the various data and their production value. Now I will switch over to cement industry. We are second largest cement industry. Most of the company, luckily, they are the greenest cement industry manufacturer. And if we talk about the 4 or 5 people, like Ultratech, ACC, Ambuja, Shri Cement and Dalmia, the main operator. So their market share is around 54%. And there are 210 cement plants all over the country. Their market size is 5.99 billion tons by 2032 at a rate of 4.7 CAGR. Now gas and petroleum. We read in the newspaper the barrel price. So how much barrel we are using, so you can count in serial number 1. It is a 2016. So India produces year equivalent to 7.8 of from its proven reserve. So out of 100, 7.8 we are utilizing from our own resources. Other are imported from other countries, particularly the Gulf countries, OPEC countries. So 96% of oil has been imported. It is the ranked third in world for oil consumption. It is number 3. If you talk about per 1,000, how many cars in USA? So per 1,000 there may be 1,100 or 1,200 cars, more than a person. If you talk about our 1,000, so we hardly have a 60 or 70 cars. So even not having that automobile or not having, even though our consumption is much higher. And at present, COP26, a World Environmental Forum conference. Last year it was held at Dubai. Our Honorable Prime Minister has given that by 2070, India will be carbon zero. So how to make the carbon zero? So these are the various things that CNG and LPG, we are switching over to that, and for that 3,500 CNG stations has been planned by the ministry. Now the manufacturing sector. It is a 1 trillion from next year. So out of, we talk about a 4 trillion, 1 trillion will be the manufacturing sector capacity. And particularly Gujarat, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu are the leading state. And how many people are working from our working population? So 18 million. So 1 करोड़ 80 लाख लोगों मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर में फैक्ट्री में काम करे છે. Our exports is also increasing. In financial year 23, it was 447 billion. And in export, particularly the CNG, goods, petroleum product, gem and jewelry, chemicals, drugs, pharmaceutical, these are the main thing. Now about the mining and quarrying. This is very small sector, but Coal India is mining since 1774. We had a good quality iron ore. Only in Odisha there is a 28% iron ore, 24% coal and bauxite deposit. So how much acreage of mining? So there is a 330 hectares land we are utilizing for the mining's purpose. And how our mining company, particularly the Hindalco and Tata Steel, right? So 28 and 27 billion US dollar, they are collecting the revenue, not the profit, revenue. Now about the chemical industries, our exports are Northern America and Europe. It employs more than 20 lakh people. It is also pushing upward. There is an inflow in chemical sector particularly, other than fertilizer one. And in chemical industry, there are various subsectors like chemical and petrochemical is different. Department of fertilizer is different. Department of pharmaceutical is also different. So these are the various chemical and how their growth has happened. Now, the fourth one, automobile industry. We had a significant growth in automobile industry in last 10, 12, 15 years. I think half of the us or more than half of the us, when we graduated before 12, 15 years, we have never dreamed of owning a car. We have dreamed of a Bajaj scooter. This was the reality. And now it is very common. And particularly India, the automobile industry is a preferred destinations for FDI investment. And there are 3 or 4 clusters. One is a Chennai cluster where automobile factories are there. This Bharat and other trucks and other things are manufactured there. Then Gurgaon, Faridabad, the Maruti cluster. And Sanand, Hansalpur, the our cluster, Gujarat cluster. Now see, the auto industry growth. So 31 million vehicle we have produced in 2018-19. Then two-wheeler, if we bifurcate, 24.5 million two-wheeler and 4.63, around 46 lakhs four-wheeler we have produced. This is again about the EV market. As we know, again go back to carbon zero. For EV market, government is giving excellent subsidies. So it will grow 5 times. At present, it is 250 billion in 2021 and which will grow to 1318 billion. Then gems and jewelry. The market size is $92 billion. It's a 7% of GDP. 10 to 12% of market portion of mercantile exports. Then textile industry. We prepare 4% of global apparel. We are the largest consumer of cotton, and we are also largest producer of cotton also. And we are also not only these textile, there are technical textile, earthen textile, so we are doing excellently well in all the textile sector. And we are second largest exporter of textile. Yes, we have competition from Vietnam, Taiwan, Bangladesh, where the land prices are cheap, where the labor are much cheaper than us. And it doesn't require, the textile industry, hosiery industry doesn't require very high skill machinery or composite machinery. So they are doing, this is again about the textile. Salt industry. It's a very small industry, but I belongs to a place, Karagoda. So my father and we were producing the salt. But you can see how much land area utilized, how much small producer. This all land belongs to government. Government give on a 3-year temporary lease. It is not an individual's farm where they are producing the salt. IT and ITES. So in US, their requirement, we are supplying 67% IT and ITES service to the US, which is $124 to $130 billion per year. And why they are getting from India these services? So their labor is 3 to 4 times costlier. We are 3 to 4 times cheaper. So that is our main USP, and of course our IQ, our mathematics. We are, our Indian are far ahead of most of the country. So IT services spending value was $18 billion US, and software is a different. So software is another $17 billion. On left-hand side, there is a Tata TCS, the leading company. So he had an employee, 6 lakhs employee worldwide. Now you compare the employee of 20 lakhs in a whole textile industry, or some 80,000-90,000 in salt workers, right? So this is a huge sum No, I'm not talking about the whole IT and ITES industry. I'm talking about the TCS. So this is the employment count in Bangalore. 15 lakh people are in IT. Chennai 8 lakhs, Pune 8 lakhs. And there are revenues in billions. This is also a detail. Only one thing, you just read the bottom line. India export the IT and ITES services from 3,69,000 crore. Karnataka share is 53%. While our share, when I counted, it is 0.009. So I have written the less than 1%. Gujarat, I am talking about Gujarat. In export front, we are not doing that well. He said only 2.5% will export. You can see in the trade statistics on the side column. So always import is higher than the export. So generally I told you chemical, fertilizer, pharmacy, engineering, these goods we are. Even though out of the 200 and odd country, we are 14th largest exporter in the globe. Now SEZ. So there was a SEZ policy in 2005-06 by the then government. What is SEZ? So I will explain you. Kalla was the first SEZ. How? Mumbai port was very far from the northern India. Mumbai port till today is a very heavy traffic. So central government decided to have one port, and this is a natural site, Kandla port. So central government constructed that port. And there is a Kandla EPZ or free trade zone, FTZ. So it was first where you can put your industry, and if you are exporting, you have not to pay a single paisa to the Indian government. The same formula has been repeated after 60 years as a SEZ. So this is a statistics where Gujarat has a 30 SEZ. Now these are the few facts. We are closing the India chapter. Labor rates, then human development indices, corruption perception index, labor forces, labor force by occupation, unemployment which is at 12.4, and per capita GDP. Rightly, Sawanbhai has said about $3,000. This is exactly at 2024 early figure, that is the 2731 US dollar. Now sometimes when we are not knowing the economy or we are not in that finance sector, so this much trillion GDP, we are coming the fourth largest, this much $1 trillion. But this is a consumption society due to our 143 crore population. So our 70% GDP is only for we people only. Right? So we are fourth largest consumer market. We are world's 10th largest importer, 8th largest exporter. We are 63 number in index of living of ease of doing business. And we are a very slow, very less social spending. Now, I will ask one thing. What is a US rupee exchange rate on 15th August 1947? 1 rupee is equal to $1. So we are now moving to Gujarat. So this is an economical snapshot. The lower bottom bar chart says the Gujarat is among with the Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. Uttar Pradesh is there till today, but due to the scale and population, so we are among the first three. And in Gujarat, being Ahmedabadi, what is our share? So for Gujarat, GSDP. So 15% share is from Ahmedabad itself, and which is equivalent or more than Barbados or Bhutan country GDP. So this is also again a Gujarat state various figure, literacy rate, birth rate, number of PPP project. We are 5% population. This is also installed power capacity, internet subscriber. Here you can see that there were we are 5%, so 955 internet subscriber. So we should be 5%, right? So we are 55, so it's a 5.92. Similarly, wireless we are 5.65. Power capacity we are 11 instead of 5%. If 5 is there, then proportionately we are doing equal. Airport we are 12%. Major and minor port we are 22.5%. So this is a per capita power consumption of Gujarat. Again this GSDP and other things. So this is final contribution, 5% population, 6% geographical area of the country, 7% GDP contribution, 10% factories are in Gujarat, 13% manufacturing value, fixed capital 70%, and export 25%. And on the other side, why this happened? This has been accelerated. Or 91 liberalization policy work as a catalyst. But before that, there was a Ahmedabad-Mumbai Golden Corridor. So after 61 only, you will find the Bharuch, Vapi, Valsad, Umargaon, that whole Gujarat industrial belt was developed. So what are the exported item from the Gujarat? The petroleum product is number 1. Drugs and pharmaceutical number 2, and chemical is number 3. Then gem and jewelry and engineering goods. So our share is 18.14 of industrial output. Now industrial infrastructure. So in the map it has been shown there. There are Government of Gujarat Industry Department has declared 106 industrial clusters. Let's suppose Dholka, Dantuka will be one industrial sector and all services, and there will be small GIDC and other facility has been erected. So this is about the SEZ. Out of the 30, 20 SEZ in Gujarat are operational. You can see the 6 are IT SEZ. In Gujarat, multi-product SEZ 5. This is a zonal distribution of SEZ. You can see the Gandhinagar and Ahmedabad, the cluster of SEZ, and second is near Mudra. Mudra is one of the growth story. So, Dahej is one of the diamond in our Gujarat crown. Why? So it is on a 5,000 hectare, and there is a petroleum port, there is a LNG terminal, it is a SEZ where chemical, industrial gas, packaging, shipbuilding, small chemical industries, all are situated and developed in last 12 to 15 years. These are the location and advantages of the Dahej. This is the port. If we talk about, we had a longest coastline, some 1600 running kilometer. So there are 49 ports. So one Kandla is a major port, including Mudra or Dahej or Pipavav, all has been categorized as non-major. But you can see 70%, the bottom one, of this cargo traffic of the country is handled by Gujarat. non-major port. So how we are doing in port, and port is related with transport, logistics go down, so there is multiplier economic effect. This is about the Pipavav, Mudra, and why it happened, why Dahej, Mudra, Pipavav. It bought about 35,000 crore rupees for a port development, but due to the boot policy. So India was the first state who created a port policy for a private-public partnership. These are the chemical industry. There are 16,000 small chemical industry and 500 large chemical industry in Gujarat. And generally pigment is the main product which we export to Europe and Northern America. We had a 62% share in petrochemical, 53% in general chemical, and 45% share in pharmaceutical. This is again a gems and jewelry. Surat is the largest diamond processing unit in the world. The market size I have already written 26,000 crore plus. And 98% of diamond exports from India to the globe. And out of that 95%, 65% is going through Surat only. Gas and petroleum, we had a LNG terminal, we had a 11% of country's gas we are producing. There's a natural gas and there's a LPG tanker are coming at Dahej and Pipavav and Mudra. So that is LPG gas. In automobile, we have talked little thing, 9% automobile now Gujarat is creating, and due to that you can see at the bottom C8, such tire industries are also coming, the ancillary one, auxiliary one. Again, this is the data of Ford Motor, Suzuki, Tata, how much they have invested. And there was one close plant of General Motor at Halol, which has been acquired by MG Hector near Baroda. This is again salt. So 70% of Indian salt is produced by Gujarat. Now semiconductor, the futuristic industry. We have heard during the COVID, we are not getting computer chips and their hardware and other things. At that time, I can say that 100% we are importing, either from China or Korea. So within 3 years, this mission has been took up by our government. So there are 7 different chip manufacturing units sanctioned by the Union government, and recently 8th has been sanctioned on a 24th September by Union Ministry at Sanand. So Sanand will have 3 semiconductor units, and Tata people are constructing at Dholera. The factory construction work of this semiconductor unit of Tata Industries has been already started at Dholera. Now again the Dholera SIR. As we know, DMIC corridor, it's a Delhi-Mumbai industrial corridor where there is a, like expressway, there is a straight route where the goods train can ply with a speed of more than 100 kilometers. No passenger train, no signal, nothing will be there. And as Sawan Bhai has rightly said, earlier the truck was taking 3 days and now truck is going in 1 day. So what we are saving? So we are saving that capital can be utilized 3 times. So with the Japan government, this project is going, and it is in huge land where around 2,000 hectares is a government land, and it is the first platinum rated green building of the country. And there are 3 phases of Dholera. After second phase, it is estimated that 11 lakh people will be staying in Dholera. So this is the plan of master plan of Dholera. If I talk about the phase 1, it will be completed by 2027. Tata and few industries have coming up, they have started construction. Government has special given a finance for creating a greenfield airport. So I think within 18 months the airport will be ready. And within 6 months, the greenfield expressway from Ahmedabad to Dholera will be there. Now we talk about the Vibrant Gujarat. It is also a program. Now in this era, the professionalism, the marketism is very, very much required. Okay, suppose today you attended this lecture and some few facts which you are not knowing, you know it. So similarly, such marketing campaign, and by doing that some 41,000 projects worthing some 25 lakh crore rupees has been signed. Forget about the success ratio. If it is a 60%, 70%, even though 18-20 lakh crore has been poured through Vibrant Summit. And in last Vibrant Summit, there was a 9,000 crore by 2024. Now we'll switch over to GIFT City. What is the growth? So first I talk about the industries. Earlier I saw the industry scene of at India level. What is the Gujarat level and what is the percentage? Now, what are the other growth landmark project? So one is a Dholera, second is a GIFT City. This is again a World Trade Center and GIFT City plan. These are the figure of 2023. There are already 580 companies have been registered there. There are 23 banking companies registered. There are banking asset management company who has done the business of 51.98 billion. Turnover is a 66.733. So this is the only a 10% of GIFT City is not done. The operation or the construction or the development portion. Even though you can see the figure. Now you compare the same figure with Ahmedabad. The whole 400 square kilometer Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation area. You will find it is very, very less. So this is a statistic figure, 886 acre Jameen, some 6 crore 20 lakh square feet built up. And there are DTA and SEZ, there are non-SEZ and SEZ, there are two zone. FSI is 3.65. Then DMIC corridor from Dadri near Delhi to Mumbai. So Delhi-Mumbai industrial corridor. You can see from the map, the majority chunk is passing through Gujarat state. So what is the DMIC corridor? So industrial expansion, employment opportunity, upgraded facilities, then sectoral growth of various industry, investment attraction, enhanced logistics, faster logistics, and integrated development. These are the main 5 goals of the this DMIC project. And why? What is the importance of Ahmedabad? So it is a central hub. It is in between the Mumbai and Delhi. JIDB is a body who are managing, is a nodal agency. Then in Gujarat, there are 4 nodes has been decided. One is the Dholera, which is for manufacturing, services, futuristic, solar, trading. Vadodara is for chemical and engineering, chemical and petrochemical. Palanpur and Mehsana, they have been chosen for agro, horticulture, dairy, all that. And Bharuch for petrochemical. So it has covered 62% of geographical area of the Gujarat. Due to this project, there is a estimated employment generation of some 8 lakhs people in Gujarat itself. Now last is high-speed rail corridor, bullet train. Savanbhai has told about you. What can happen? I will straightway go to not their urban planning impact, economic significance, social benefits, location. I will go to one chart. Go to the right end. The 100 minutes is a Ahmedabad-Mumbai distance, right? So from Ahmedabad to Anand, you can go in 10-12 minutes. Similarly, from Mumbai to Thane is about 10 minutes. Thane to Vihar, 15 minutes. Or you can just say between Vadodara and Surat, some 15, 16, 17 minutes. So what will happen? It is a very interesting story. If I am staying at Anand and Anand does not have an international school and I want to send my kid to the international school, right? What I will do? I will buy or rented the apartment near Sabarmati. Why? In Anand also on my two-wheeler, it takes 20-30 minutes to reach Amul Dairy or any my employment center. Now from Sabarmati only 10, 12, 15 minutes you are reaching there. So there will be inward and outward migration, not migration of people, migration of business, migration of professional. Some professional may start 8 o'clock and they may reach 9:45 at Mumbai. They work whole day 6:45 and 8 p.m. he will be at Ahmedabad. So a doctor or a professional will come. And in that case, there is if you have seen the Maharashtra politician, I will not name the one, they say Maharashtra has a loss, and he is right. More and more benefit, maximum benefit will be given to the Surat. Surat will be benefited, number of the service sector and other things will shift to Surat. This is an impact diagram. This is a railroad network. Along breaking yard, there are 153 plots, and we used to break some 415 ships per day. What is the positions of ship breaking all over the globe has been mentioned. Now living index. So first I have compared Ahmedabad, Rajkot, Surat, Vadodara. Right? So quality of life, so Vadodara is better. Economic ability, Ahmedabad is better. Sustainability, Ahmedabad is better. Ease of living, Ahmedabad is better. Citizen perception, Ahmedabad is better. Ease of living in toto, Ahmedabad is better. Now this living index, first I have compared the Bangalore, Delhi, Pune, Thane, Chennai. See, we are 48.19. So Bangalore and Delhi are ahead. All other 7 cities are behind us. So we had a good living. Then second is sustainability score. How you are using recycled water, how you are using the solar light, all that. Here also we are competing with 65 Pimpri Chichwad, which is a new area of Pune. We are 64 point something. Then this is the citizen perception. How citizen believe, is this city is good, safe, they are getting better services. But in this case also Ahmedabad is the number 1 city. So after all that thing, I will told you about all the green thing. We have 14,000 school in Gujarat, 34,000 primary school in Gujarat. But school, if you talk about the school dropout ratio, so we are very poor. Half of the states are better. The Rajasthan or Madhya Pradesh is better in primary education. As I have said in the allocation that 8% is a social attribute in the budget, which is very low. but Gujarat government, Gujarat state can afford. So if you want to have the same momentum with some more coefficient, then the primary education is one of the primary concern. Second thing is promotion and innovation. If you innovate, then and then you will grow faster. And if Bangalore is doing the innovation better than Hyderabad or Pune or Chennai in IT industry, then they are going. So innovation, and for that, regional strong network of interlocking institutions support. This ecosystem includes through government funded programs, specialized training program at university level, at institute level, at business level, incubation. So promotion and even innovation is one of the way forward. Inclusiveness. Inclusiveness means બધાને સાથે લઈને ચાલો, બધાને ઇન્ક્લુડ કરો. એટલે પુઅરમાંથી પુઅર માણસને તમે ઇન્ક્લુડ કરો. એટલે સ્લમ હાઉસિંગની વાત છે, સ્લમ હાઉસિંગની લિવિંગ કન્ડિશનની વાત છે, અર્બન પુઅરને હેલ્થ ફેસિલિટીની વાત છે, એક્સેસ ટુ ગુડ એજ્યુકેશનની વાત છે. In this also, I have not shown the rank, but we are number 9 or 10. Then business model. What was our business model? A family business. Father will hand over the same business to his son, and he may have one or two more branch. But to take larger challenges, now you have to think about a different, progressive, processive, flexible, different model. I don't say that family conventional business model is not good. It is good, but you have to induct some innovative new business model, right? Then fifth is the environment. If in 95-96 there was a huge hue and cry, all the chemical industry were shut off, and from the nearby villagers' borewell, which is a potable water, some red and water polluted was coming out. So when you are talking about chemical industry, then water pollution. When you talk about petrochemical industry, then air pollution. In pharmaceutical also, it is a polluted industry. So your major thing is not engineering. So environment is concerned. And in that case, after 20, 30, 40 years, if you don't have ETP, you don't have STP, it is going. So we have to prepare ourselves. Gujarat has to prepare. Resilience. We had, as I told you, 1600 kilometer coastline. And we have seen that each alternate year there is a cyclone. So our hospital, our housing, our public building, our bridge, our airport, what is the resilience? In any case of any impact, again to come back speedily to the original position. એટલે વાવાઝોડું આવ્યા પછી આપણને ખબર પડવી જોઈએ કે કશું જ થયું નથી, કોઈ બિલ્ડિંગને નુકસાન નથી થયું. That resiliency is very much required in case of Gujarat. કે Surat and Bharuch, they are urban flooding is there. So these are the various issues. And financial, for sustainable economic growth, including land reform, investment in education, investment in infrastructure, more FDI, more transparency, more efficiency in administration, attaining social cohesion. So this is also one of the point of concern. Trade deficit. If you see, as I have told you, our import and export, so we are trade deficit. So being a leading industrial or progressive state, how to reduce the trade deficit of India, that is also our concern. Then trade practices. What is state bureaucracy? Cooperative federalization. Like suppose when Suzuki was coming, Maharashtra was requesting him to settle down in Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Gujarat. So in that case, you have to make your age competitive. If your age is not competitive, and these people don't see only the location or a cost of the land, they see education, all social factors is very much important. So to have this environment, our economic, geo-economical, geopolitical environment requires careful monitoring. And as I have said you, for upper age, it is must. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, respected and dear N.K. Patel sir, for your specific and informative presentation. As per the tradition of GICA, we would like to present the memento, and for that, first I invite our past president and chairman, Continuing Education and Capacity Building Committee, Shri Nitesh sir, to present the memento to Shri N.K. Patel sir. Thank you very much. And now I invite our treasurer Shri Saurin Shah to present the memento to Shri Dr. Sawan Bhai Godiawala. Now I invite the House for a short question and answer session due to time concern. Mike.
Namaskar, I am Sudhir Thakur. Congratulations for such a nice presentation. You have given very good statistics. You could create a 3D of India and Gujarat. My question is, I read one paper on the demography of India, where today's India is young India. We have majority of population ranging from 18 to 50. And senior citizens around 16 to 18. But because of our birth rate is going down and lifespan has increased, in 2 decades, India will become senior citizens India. So in that case, do you think it will have impact on the statistics which you have shown? And because of the senior citizens, for example, he's a doctor, he will say, India has become capital of diabetes. And we have many other health issues. So in that case, what do you think India will have other types of problems, issues? Thank you.
Particularly due to the manpower available and cheaper manpower available, few things which can be done by AI or IoT or by computer, still we are doing manually. So in that case, when our manpower, young manpower will be diminishing, ocho thato hase, tyare there will be such solution will be there. That is one thing. Second thing, at present the population growth is reduced, which is more or less return required. But after 10 years, what will be the population, we cannot forecast right now. Third thing, in that case, we have to let out our few industries to nearby underdeveloped country from Africa or any else, and they will run your show and you will be on a managerial positions. So if you are running, you are getting 100 rupees profit. Now you have given that thing on a turnkey basis to somebody else, so you will get some 82 rupees. But the show will go on, and at that time our capacity will be increased. What was the capacity in 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s? It has been increased. So such a 10, 12, 20% shock, at that time economy will observe. And for addition, I will like Shravan Bhai to add.
I think just to add to what N.K. Patel sir said, across the globe we are seeing this trend that India is among the Indian demography is kind of enviable across the all Japan, China, US, they are aged, Europe especially, they are all aging economy. That does not mean that they are slowing economy. China is growing, of course, at 4% versus India 6.5%. So the solutions keep changing, the way of working keep changing. So I don't see that 2 decades and 3 decades far that we are talking about is little too far. By the time there would be different ways of doing things and different requirements, the technology would have taken over the most of the things. And on the diabetes front, India has always been a diabetes capital. And with the scale and size of the population, it will stay so. There would be medicines, there would be issues, but that diabetes is here to stay, maybe because of several reasons, maybe genetics also and lifestyle also. But I don't see that's a problem, new problem. It has been a problem for ages, and that we will live with the problem according to. We here in Ahmedabad, we have done several seminars for diabetes also. Just to communicate, all kinds of, we do healthcare seminars almost one every month to say what is impacting, how your lifestyle is impacting this health related issues. Yeah. Any more question, or we can then do a vote of thanks? Yeah, there's a gentleman.
The government of Gujarat is working on Kalpasar project. Maybe it is in pipeline. What impact it will have in the Gujarat, the overall development of the state?
Kalpasar project, particularly looking to the capital required, there is a benefit. But if you have a cost-benefit ratio, so Kalpasar will be very difficult to erect. That is one thing. Second thing, to get the environmental clearance, a huge region, you are disturbing the eco-sensitive region, whole ecosystem you are developing. And by getting that, what are you getting? Just a good connectivity, that is one. Second, the fresh water, which can be utilized for agriculture purpose. But most of that portion has an abundant rainfall. It is not a northern Gujarat where 20 to 27 inch rainfall is coming. But that Bharuch and around Bharuch or Surat, they have abundant fresh water available to rain itself. So that is second thing. Third thing is, nowadays rehabilitation is a great issue. The earlier Land Acquisition Act was very complex and very time consuming, but today up 2013 new act, most of the time it is impossible to acquire the land. And here you are acquiring not land, you are acquiring his livelihood also. His land is also, his agriculture practice is also you are acquiring. You are acquiring his home, which was his forefathers' home. So it is not easy task. And there is few other things like little hydroelectric power and other things are there. I have studied it. But at present, culture is not good. When you say okay, 2070 carbon zero, so culture will create more carbon by damaging the eco-sensitivity. Thank you.
Last question, please.
Hello, my name is Baswang Bhatt. I heard the presentation and I'm very excited to hear the statistics and everything. But I live in US, I live in Washington, and I'm here for last 3 years taking care of my mom, and I find things very expensive. So when we talk about middle class, I feel personally that that number is really wrong. What we consider traditionally a middle class, we would, in reality, they would be in lower class because of the cost of things. And that's my personal opinion.
I partially agree with you particularly. And in my middle class, I have said 50,000 rupees per monthly income or salary. And out of 50,000 rupees, if you talk about the children's education, then the transportation is generally 8 to 10%. So, and then grocery and electricity and all. So it is a classification by government. So I agree that they are not actually, you can tag, there is a 3 classification of middle class, MIG 1, MIG 2, MIG 3. So this is below MIG 3, I am agree. And you just visit the HUDCO website. So there is a classification of MIG as per the income. So if we talk about MIG 3 of 50,000, even though I agree it is a lesser.
I can only add that there's a concept called PPP. When GDP was presented here, we are the 5th largest economy after Japan and Germany, of course, US, China. In PPP terms, we are already 3rd largest. We are close to 10 trillion versus 4 trillion. And you can compare a McDonald's burger in the US versus a McDonald's burger in India. It has 3 times the difference. A 100 rupee burger is it's almost $1. In US, the cheapest burger is $3, $3.50, maybe $5. So that is how we do the PPP, that the cost comparison. So value of rupee compared with the US dollar is not 85 when it comes to purchase price parity. That is the PPP. Purchase price parity is much below 85. That's the value what a rupee can get compared to a dollar. So that's the international statistics, that we at PPP, we are much more than the 4 trillion economy. Yeah, over to you. Thanks.
Thank you. Now I invite our Joint Treasurer Shri Yes Majetia for vote of thanks.
It is my privilege to deliver vote of thanks on this first session of the Masterclass series. And before I deliver vote of thanks, I would like to inform you about the next session of this series. So the second lecture of the series is scheduled on 18th of January 2025, which is again a Saturday, same time, same venue, and same speaker, and subject would be redevelopment tool for urban renewal. Now going forward with the vote of thanks, I would like to thank today's speaker, Shri N.K. Patel, who is not only just a speaker for today's evening, but who also helped us to conceptualize this series and consented to be the first speaker for this entire series. Thank you very much, sir. We are also thankful to Dr. Sawan Godiawala for giving his consent to remain present as a guest of honor, and also giving his prompt consent to become a partner for this entire series. We are very thankful to you, sir. We are also thankful to colleagues from Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industries who are somehow not being able to remain present over here today, but we remain thankful to them. We are also thankful to sponsors of this event. So we have 4 sponsors for this event: Ambuja Cement, which is a part of Adani Group now, We are also thankful to Neha Knowledge Studio. We are also thankful to Sun Builders and also PC Snehal Group. And we are also thankful to the Continuing Education and Capacity Building Committee Chairperson, Shri Nitesh Shah, under whose guidance this entire program has been held. And we are also thankful to Surut for coordinating this program very well. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the audience, academicians and researchers who had remained present today for this evening. And I request all to join for dinner. Thank you, everyone.
I think both speakers deserve standing ovation.